House correspondent John Decker with more on what's happening in Washington and connecting in connection with what's happening in Florida. John, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on today. I appreciate it.
It's interesting. I saw President Biden earlier today say that he has been in constant contact with the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Obviously, these are very political times. You know, he's not necessarily an ally of the president, but in a storm situation like this, people seem to come together.
Well, that's exactly right. President Biden spoke with Governor DeSantis last night and will likely speak to him more over the course of the next few days. He, in that conversation, pledged all of the federal help that Florida needs. President Biden also spoke to a number of mayors in Southwest Florida as Hurricane Ian was approaching their communities. And so what we will likely see in the days, weeks ahead, really, is FEMA working hand in glove with the emergency management agency in the state of Florida, making certain that all of the aid that is necessary for all of those people impacted by that storm get that aid as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you talk about FEMA right there as well as the aid. This is almost certainly going to be a very, very costly storm for the government and for millions of people in Florida, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've used to be based in South Florida. I've covered lots of hurricanes over the course of my career, including Hurricane Andrew, which at the time was the most expensive hurricane to hit the U.S. That, of course, Hurricane Katrina overtook that, but this is going to be a very expensive storm. There's no doubt about that, and it's really important that not only FEMA gets involved, but also the state emergency management agency in Florida to make certain that people get the type of aid that they need as soon as possible. We already see that 1 million people, more than 1 million people in Florida are impacted because of power outages, and that number may increase over the course of the next 24 hours.
I do want to ask you, though, the January 6th committee postponed today's scheduled hearing because of the storm. What do you think is next there? Any new date? And did I read correctly when this is going to be their last hearing, their public one? Is that true?
Well, that is the plan right now. They say that this hearing, which was supposed to take place today, has been postponed. No date yet in terms of when it's being rescheduled. Will likely be the final televised hearing before the midterm elections. It will be disbanded by the end of this Congress, which means we could actually see the committee continue its work in the lame duck session of Congress after the midterm. So we'll have to wait and see if that happens. But no date in terms of when this final hearing will be rescheduled, but it will likely be within the next week and a half. Reason being is because for those members on this select committee that are running for re-election, they want to be back in their district doing all the campaigning that they need to do to get reelected in the midterms. Yeah, in their home stretch there. John Decker, thank you very much for joining us from Washington this afternoon. Good to see you. Thank you.